We're pushing that off on the DNR and EPA again. As John Young stated, this is 1.7 million gallons of liquid per day that's coming to our area that's not here now. We're just shrugging it off. DNR and EPA are going to deal with that. This is a simple question. This is my response. This is a simple question that should have a simple answer, and it suggests that A, no preliminary studies have been done. B, the respondent does not have any knowledge of the subject because we haven't heard from the slurry people yet. There's a whole engineering firm employed by them. They haven't said a word. Or C, the information is being withheld. Well, we don't know about secrecy now, do we? In the January 22nd meeting, when Alberisi was doing a flyover, it showed an uncovered slag pile not shown on the site plans. It appeared to be around number 32, and on the site plan over there, everything's numbered. It's a silo that's over by the iron reduction facility, close to Platinum Creek. The answer from Alberisi was that slag refers to limestone calcium silicate, cement additive, produced during the ore refinement. It is intended to be loaded directly into rail cars and alternate spurs for shipment. However, plan marked item number 31 is a storage location for cement additive in the event of an unforeseen delay in returning the empty rail cars. Because the cement additive product does not require weather protection, it would only be staged for a matter of days in the event of an unforeseen rail delay. It is not covered. Why is that important? Here's my response. The proposed plan seems to be based on a best-case scenario. We have been told repeatedly that the cement additive amounts will be small and that there will be a ready buyer for the product. In fact, we have been told that there will be no slag from the very beginning. This question pertains to other scenarios where the amount of, I'll use the proper word, limestone and calcium silicate may become too plentiful. Specifically, how long can the plant operate before the storage capacity is exceeded? So, if there's no place for this to go, you've got to ask that question. I don't care how many buyers there are right now, a scenario will come up where there may not be buyers. If the storage capacity is exceeded, is there, and there is no movement in cement additive products, will the plant quit production if the storage capacity is met? An answer that there will always be movement of the product is not acceptable. What about the wetlands? Isn't the barge facility being built on wetlands? Does everybody know what wetlands is? It's a pretty rare piece of property that's close to the river that's got that type of designation for a certain reason. The answer, other than the dock proper on the riverbank, the majority of the barge facility is located at or above the 100-year floodplain per the survey drawings. However, verification of certain conditions and detailed construction documents for improvement on that parcel, including any structure that may need to be in a wetland, are required for various permits from the state of Missouri and Army Corps of Engineers, pushing it off on the regulatory authorities. My response, why is that important? I believe the constituent is concerned about how much wetlands will be given up to construct this facility. The general character of the community is something that should be considered in any type of zoning change and conversion of land. The lack of a current comprehensive plan by the city to support these latest changes also points to a lack of required due process. Now let me point out that you may notice that there's no such thing in the city ordinances as a conditional use permit for a barge port. Why do you think that is? Prior to January 1st, Crystal City had no industrial riverfront. Now it has a third of the city zoned industrial. We didn't need it in the comprehensive plan because we had nothing industrial on the riverfront. Now all of a sudden, within a short period of time, about a year and a half, we have industrial riverfront and we're putting a barge port on it where there really should be a conditional use permit for it. There have also been recent questionable actions in the wetland area of the proposed site. Does everybody know that there's a new ditch about 15 feet deep that's dug by the railway? That could significantly change the nature of the surrounding wetlands. There is more of a concern for the city's officials and employees than it is for the applicant, and should be addressed by the people responsible for the rezoning of the land and the conversion of the wetlands. Why was the new ditch dug, and how does the conversion of these wetlands into an industrial facility fit in with the city's current comprehensive plan? I'm skipping some of the ones that I've already addressed. I'll just paraphrase a few that I can think of off the top of my head. The large amount of electricity that is needed for this is a serious concern. It's been quoted that it's going to take about 80 megawatts of power to deal with this facility. As far as I know, that's not something that we have the ability to run to that property right now. So there has to be things that aren't showing up in this drawing. Power lines, underground, above ground, how many, where they come from, where's that power? What about the safety of the community? High voltage, definitely be high voltage somewhere. Where's it at? How close is it to the workers, to the residents? The induction furnace has a frequency to it. It's electric. And it, based on the frequency, produces a hum. If it's a low frequency, it's a low hum. If it's a high frequency, it's a high whine. That can be less than 80 decibels. It can be less than 90 decibels. It can be probably 20 decibels and drive everybody in the whole vicinity crazy. We need more information. Code pile. What type of safeguards do we have that that's not going to be a problem? That coke pile is going to have to be built up. It's been said that it's going to have to be built up at least 35 feet or so above where it is right now. The coke pile itself is going to be about 40 feet tall. So that means it's going to be about 70 feet, and the retention ponds and the settlement ponds are going to be on the fill. So it's going to be like that great big burst that happened down there in Tom Sauk Mountain. It's up on top of the mountain with a great big wall across it. Are we going to test that every once in a while, or are we just going to rely on DNR and EPA to do their own testing? That's something that's close to home too. This just happened down in Kentucky. There was a coal sludge ruined a whole bunch of land because one of those settlement ponds broke. I'll concede the rest of the time. Thank you for your time.
Bob Sweeney.
Mayor, council, and guests, thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I represent, I'm sorry.
Excuse me, Mr. Sweeney, could you speak into the microphone?
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Is that better? I'm sorry. Bob Sweeney, 503 Main Street, Hillsborough. Specifically, I represent